Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. But today we're going to start with the 10-minute chart and just going to show you we gapped down a little bit, came in, found a little bit support around gap fill right here. Then it pops up, comes back in, and then you have the low of the day as support. And it cracked through there and went right to the 200 moving average. That's where it held on until the end of the day. You did see a little bit of volume coming in towards the end here, and possible little bit of distribution today, maybe. You know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Let's go right into the daily. Daily SPY, we had a pretty good extension move here. We started moving away from the 20 and the 50. Gets to a point where the stock has to pull back, or the ETF, if you want to call it that. Pulls back, we come fill the gap, and we get back below this little trend line here. Not that this is a serious trend line, but it's something you got to just be aware of. It connects the highs over here. It goes back to a low pivot down yonder, but it did close back under there. Let's see if we get a little follow through on a little more volume, and maybe the possibility we have a pull back to the 382, the 20, and the 50 MA on the daily, possibly. No pattern, nothing, just a little overextended move. If you go to the weekly, the first day of the week, so it's not telling us much, but we are holding on to this line. The line comes back to a pivot right back in here, so it connects that, goes through all this jazz here, the all-time highs over here, and this is where it's stopping. Now we're waiting for a pattern on the weekly, so let's see what's going on here. We'll know more tomorrow. So, all right, let's get into the IWM. IWM, we always talked about this one lagging. Now it's trying to lead the charge after it's been lagging a long time. To me, that's interesting to me, to be honest with you. But let's go to the daily. We had a nice reversal today. This was down the most on the day, $1.74. But we did engulf yesterday's or Friday's action. We almost engulfed Thursday's action as well. Let's see now. Now we're waiting on pattern, guys. Let's see if this moves down and maybe into support, goes sideways, sets up for the next leg down, or does it turn around and just blast off and shoot for the 136 area. So tomorrow will tell us a little bit more about the puzzle, and we'll wait and see. Weekly, first day of the week, like I said, came back pretty good. On the weekly, though, if you are bearish, you want to see it pretty much close, you know, around below 130. I would like to see on a weekly close. I'd like to see actually this gap be filled at 127.31, but we'll see if this thing continues. Like I said, 136 will be the area. All right, let's get into the Qs. Qs again, a little bit weak on the day, 27 cents. But if you look at the daily, it's been trying for the all-time highs again, but just can't do it. This actually isn't bad bullish consolidation above the MA, so possibly look for an upside move. For me, I'm not doing it. We filled the gap here. We are going sideways, but man, at all-time highs, we might have a little bit left in the tank. But for me, it's not worth putting my money out there to see a little bit. I'd rather see it fall back down into the 114 area, and then possibly, you know, if we start rolling downward, we'll see. Like again, I'm still bearish on the markets, guys, so I'm a little bit on the bear bias. But you know what? As long as we have light volume, these could stay afloat for a little while. Maybe make a run, you know, into the 121, 122. Who knows? 125 maybe. But again, this pattern needs to go maybe another week or so. This thing needs to curl up into price. I'd love to see that. Or if it drops and starts to get to below the MAs, then it has possible lower prices to come. And then we'll probably be testing double bottom and then the 200 moving average around 111 or so. And then, you know, I'm expecting we could probably fill this gap down here around 108. But that's in the, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait for pattern. On the weekly, we just went up into this inside bar. Now it's just chopping around. Let's wait for pattern on the weekly. I want to see where this closes on Fridays. If it could get above the 120 area and close, then we could probably see more upside, maybe to 124 to 125. If it does not and starts to break down, then you're looking for 20 MA support. And then let me open this up a little bit. Then you have some of the Fibonacci levels, you know, coming back down. You have the one at 115, you have the 618 or 115.82, 115.01, you got the 750, then ultimately double bottom down here. So we'll see if this, you know, this is a pretty nice retrace back into the highs. Let's see if it has some room to pull back. DIA. DIA still above that trend line. Where's that coming from? Right there. So let's make this one go out a little bit further. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. All right, so we're a little bit above that. You know, we're treading water. We popped the puff. So let's go to the daily. The daily, same thing. We had a little bit of a bullish pattern. We talked about that above the moving averages here. It started breaking out, but look at the volume just disappearing. You know, I want to see some breakout volume like it did here. I want to see another big, you know, what is that? 100, what, 8 million candle. Now we're doing 3 million today. You know, these were 8, 9 million candles right here, and now we're doing 3, 4, half of that, if not worse. And we're moving up on that. I want to see more conviction. So on a weekly basis, I want to see this thing close above this green bar on Friday. You know, maybe 192, maybe 193 area. You know, I'd still like to see 195 with some volume to see if this thing can, you know, move up like it did here. You know, just where it goes 181 to, you know, 190 in a week and then keeps going on nothing. So prove to me, you know, Dow, that you can get this thing, you know, keep this thing rolling. Come on. So let's look at the IYT. Let's go to the daily chart. So the daily had a nice little move here. So, you know, we go from 141 to 161, so a 20-point rally here. You know, off of, you know, you can see it better on the weekly, actually. This is kind of just choppy, sloppy, bullish action coming from a low. If you go down here, not the best, not the worst. It held this trend line. I guess you could stay bullish until it starts cracking this trend line. I mean, if it comes down from here, even great. But if you're not short the IYT, this is the time to add right here. And if it gets to 165 to the 168 area, that's the next place to add, because I think that's the high. Yeah, exactly. The high is right up in there. So if you can add, you know, right around the 165, if you can wait patiently, I would start adding here. I'm in a little bit lower down in here, so I still think it's stretched. On a weekly basis, you're still away from the 20 MA. You know, 20 MA is at 146. You're at 161. You got to pull back. You're up into this area of resistance. You are stretched, but, you know, the pros are you coming off of a great bullish base above the MAs. And finally, you have an inside bar and an inside bar. Nice. I would have liked to see maybe a week or two more, maybe 3, and then the pop-up. But you got a pretty good pop-up. Let's see if we can consolidate sideways and move up into the next level to add more shorts. Or does it turn around by Friday? We come back, fill the gap, and engulfs this guy here and starts heading down. But we'll see. We'll see how strong this pattern is. This pattern should rip us higher. But if it doesn't, the down move should be pretty, you know, pretty dramatic as well, because this pattern will fail on the move up. So got to watch this closely, guys. It's still been lagging, which it still is. The IWM's leading, so you got to watch that. So let's go to the USO now. Oops, not the UUP. So the USO, let's go to the daily. So, you know, we've been chopping around. We slightly bearish pattern. We did pop up over above the moving averages here, but it came right back in. You know, it was kind of a head fake. All right, hop on long, and now they're right back down to this trend line. So let's see if we can hold up here in a bearish. We're still in a bearish manner. If it gets below the 20 MA, then that's going to be a suspect going down to probably gap fill and maybe double bottom around 956. I still think oil's going to go lower, but that's if the markets sell off. So we kind of got to, you know, line everything up here, guys. Line the stars and the moon and the planets, all that good stuff. You know, we got the trend lines down here, so we'll have to just see. Right now, we're just waiting on pattern. I mean, it's starting to develop in a bearish manner, but it's really choppy and sloppy. So let's see what kind of move we'll get next. You know, we're watching this one closely. Let's look at the weekly really quick here. You know, it's the beginning of the week. Let's see where it ended up last week. Like I said, I was on vacation, so let's see here. So yeah, so we're still knocking on these moving averages doors. Gosh, it looks like we possibly, yeah, we did Close below that. We're right on top of it. Yeah, it's the beginning of the week, so we'll know more on the weekly come Friday. But right now we're holding this. We had a nice retrace back up into this inside bar. Let's see if we start heading down. If you're bearish, you'd like to get below this trend line, get below the low of this red candle, start getting into this green one, maybe halfway would be nice, or the 750, and then we'll keep an eye on this to see if it comes in, or does it set up in a bullish manner here, an inside bar bear and an inside bar bull. The bear is the macro, the bull is the micro pattern, so you got to watch for that as well. Let's go into the UUP, which should be controlling the oil going up and down, and the gold. This is the dollar chart on the ETF, UUP, and everybody gets this chart, so it doesn't have a lot of volume, but it gives you a pretty good idea where this stuff's going. But we did have resistance at 26.12, 26.25, and the next area of resistance is 26.50, and then so on and so forth. 26.83, 27.21, but so far so good. We had resistance here. They gapped it up over it, didn't want to deal with it. We're into the 618, the 750. It's kind of chopping around. We're waiting for pattern. That's the weekly. Man, it's cold out here, guys. I'm like, ugh. Anyways, we're chopping around here on a bullish manner on the UUP, and let's see, we're 7 cents down today. We're into some resistance. Yeah, not bad. It's kind of choppy, sloppy. This really doesn't show. You know, they gapped it up on this one. You know, the pattern's telling us more upside, but starting to look stretched. We're still above the MAs. Maybe we get a little bit more. Let's see if we get another shallow pullback. You can line up. I was gonna say there's got to be a low here because this is where it caught a pivot. You can almost line this one up with this one. Right in there, if you get a pullback into that area, you know, we fill this gap here, fill the gap there. That'd be nice. 50 MAs coming up too. So let's see if we get a pullback, or does it set up for higher prices? We'll have to see. Weekly chart, like I said, I started talking about that one. We are above this pivot. Let's see if we stay. Let's see if we go sideways. Possibly. Let the 20 MA curl up. Let this thing consolidate for weeks. Then it hits it. Then it takes off higher. Brings down oil and gold with it. Possibly. We'll see. It's kind of disconnected here and there. It's kind of whenever it feels like it at this point, which is kind of weird to me. But all right, let's go to the daily. Daily chart, we go down, set up. That's a little bit of a crappy bearish pattern. Comes back in, fills the gap down here around 112.32. We get a slight bounce. Now we're waiting on pattern, guys. This isn't giving me enough to hop on or short, and I'm waiting for it to go lower just to go long, to be honest with you. So just like anything, man, I'm waiting patiently. Wait, we got the gap down here around 109.18. We have another round around 106.82, 105. So man, if we could get down in here, I mean, if we got 100, that'd be even better. But we'll see, because I still believe if the markets start to sell, guys, we'll get lower prices on all this stuff. Period. Dollar will probably stay buoyant. But the gold, the oil, everything will come down with the SPY and the IWM and all that good stuff. That's what I'm looking at least. So the gold, again, we're waiting on pattern. Weekly chart. The weekly chart, let's see here. Yeah, we're still below all the MAs. They're starting to curl down on the price. So, man, you know, we're going to get the cross, the deadly cross, you know, that they always talk about, all the talking heads. And you know what? The weekly gold, they're going to be talking about this one. So watch this one. This one crosses over. It's the golden cross. Oh, my gosh. That's the death spiral. But there is still a gap fill on the big chart around 101.49. So let's sit here and just see what happens with this one. Then honestly, you know, you can make out a little maybe head and this shoulder sucks, but you know, you got a little shoulder here, head here, not the best. Now, I do like the upsloping trend line here, though, and now that it broke, so just be careful with this, guys. All right, hey, just want to thank you, everybody, for coming and watch my videos. Come to my live streams. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, tell your friends all that stuff. Let's try to get more people in here to find more stocks in the trade. Follow my Twitter page. That's where some of my swing trades are on, and then intraday at StockTwits.com. Thanks again, everybody, for watching my videos. God bless, and see you on the charts.